Hello my treasures, it's time for a new Hearthstone deck. This time we are going to hope to crush our opponents with some overbuffed minions using cards like Hope for Quel'thalas and Lor'themar Theron in order to buff up our minions to absurd heights. Also using a spicy little tech in the form of Pack Kodo in order to get as many Hope of Quel'thalases as we humanly can get, and using cards like Northshire Farmer to give us even more copies of the Pack Kodo for even more chances. For the Mulligan guide of the deck, you are going to be looking for Peasant, Tracking, Explosive Trap if it's an aggro-based matchup, Select a Breeder, or Pack Kodo depending if you already have a Kodo or not, Harpoon Gun so you can discount some cards at the bottom of your deck and search out your deck, and the Wild Sea package. And finally, the last card you'll be looking for is Hope of Quel'thalas in order to buff up your deck. That all being said, let's look at some games. Okay, time for a game against Death Knight. See what they actually have in store for us. There's actually a lot more variety in Death Knight right now than there used to be, which is kind of cool. I might do something again with Death Knight pretty quickly. I don't think anyone's done a Reno Death Knight deck. I could be wrong. At least in Standard Hearthstone, I would say. Yeah, that could be real fun to try out. I don't know. I usually try to do at least one of each class before I rotate back in. But now there are 11 classes in the game. That doesn't really matter too much. Okay, let's coin out the Stag Charge. Then we have the Wild Spirits for next turn. Lor'themar as a top deck is really cool to see. We don't necessarily need it right now, but it's still fine. Yeah, the Death Knight pools are so small that Reno might not be the best option for that class yet, but we could maybe figure out something fun. Well, we might as well kill that because they're just going to use Ghoul Charge to get rid of it anyway, so I think Warlock is the next class I'm going to try something with. I could be wrong when I say that. Warlock or Paladin, I don't know which. Warrior I really want to do something with, or Moria. Well, let's just put down the Pack Kodo, see what we can grab. Handle Shot just because we can use it this turn. What weapons do Hunter have right now? It's Candle Shot, Leatherworking Kit, Harpoon Gun, Hope, and I feel like I'm forgetting a fifth. Actually, maybe I'm not. Oh, it's the Bloodseeker. 1 in 5 chance of getting the correct Discover, which is actually only 20%, but still a lot higher than you would actually expect. Okay, so they got rid of our Pack Kodo. That's a little bit of a shame because it does mean we basically can't do anything else. We're just going to keep our hand until we get There's a really dumb decision and a really smart decision. The really smart decision is not to use Lor'themar as quickly as humanly possible. But the really dumb decision, because we're in a pretty decent position, is to wait until turn 10. Peasant, okay. Let's just use this. Get some secrets on board. Let's go with Motion Denied and then Ice Trap, because Explosive Trap is automatically going to trigger whenever they use their hero power, and I just rather have Ice Trap and Motion Denied. Ooh, okay, so they're pure blood. That's a little bit more annoying, but we can deal with that, maybe. Let's see what we grab here. A charge, actually. We don't have enough mana to use Zola on it. I was tempted to, we just don't have it. Let's just go face and put down the 2 taunts and then the Peasant just to be a little bit extra safe. All right, so they have 5 corpses that could easily be killed by a corpse explosion, which would not be fun. Oh, there's Blood Boil, and they basically do nothing for this turn because we have the Ice Trap, which is real nice. Okay, so now it's down to a 5 HP minion. 3, of course. Always the Vampiric Blood. There's Motion Denied, so that almost gets rid of the entire Vampiric Blood. Then we're drawing 2. Let's see what we randomly generate on something cool. Perfect. Exactly what we needed to see. Okay, so we can use Zola. This is going to sound incredibly dumb. To get the Huffer, we can go face, and we're 1 off of lethal. I miscalculated. I thought we would have had it. Okay, we're still fine. We have the Explosive Trap. Technically, if they hit our face, okay, that if they just pass the turn back, that's bad. We're 1 mana short of being able to do what I really want to do. Of course, Vampiric Blood number 2. How many of those are they going to have? Okay, so back to 23 HP. Ooh, Twin Fin, actually. Let's see what we got. Another Huffer. Got the Twin Fin. Then we can put down the pack. And then we're going to kill that. Might as well put down the Peasant, to be honest. And then next turn, we can do something really fun and wacky. We are so far ahead that it doesn't actually matter if we just waste a turn with a 5 or a 7/7 and a 2/4. Okay, Frost Strike. So they're going to randomly generate a card that isn't normally in their deck. Howling Blast, that's... Okay, so they have a lot of removal because of that. Then they can just use their hero power, hit our stupid boar. Of course. Oh, they chose that incredibly fast. We're going to take 3 damage per turn. Let's just use Bran and Lor'themar. Now everything should be double or quadruple the stat line. Okay, a Bran of their own. Please don't hit King Krush. That could be bad. Okay, that's not King Krush. And that isn't King Krush either. Okay. We're still in this. Okay, Explosive Trap. We do too much. We have 10 cards in deck? 12 cards? Oh, tracking number 2. Come on, Krush. Oh, that's not Krush, but that's pretty good. Behold, a 2020. Gonna get rid of that. Also, probably should have hero powered first, but whatever. And most definitely should have hero powered first. We could have actually prevented 1 additional damage next turn. Okay, so their Blood Decay, the chances of them having lethal is incredibly low. I think on board they have 6/1. That's 7. They're 1 off of lethal. If they have a weapon, we lose. If they don't have a weapon, we're in a pretty good position. Because we have a 1 in 10 chance of getting Krush 3 individual times. Right? They're clearing out our board, but they're not... Ooh. Putting up a taunt, that actually is probably the correct play. Behold, our Krush for 32-32. The top deck of the century. Ah, man, they got crushed there. Okay, time for a game against Mage. Let's see what type of Mage they are. I know people are really falling back on some of the older style decks because of the recent changes made to things like Prince Renathal, where a lot of newer decks just don't cut out. We're going to get rid of Zola, and that's about it. I'm going to keep the Explosive Trap because I know Aggro Mage has started to reappear. And Bran isn't really a card that I want to see right now, but it is fine for now, I guess. I wonder if they want AFK for a second. Come on, what could take so long? On turn 1, of all things. Oh, maybe they did just go AFK for a second. Well, I guess we're just going to get the turn passed back to us. We're going to pass it back to them. Okay, they're just going to fireball us. So they were probably there at the beginning of the game, but they just did not want to do anything. We're going to coin out the Stag Charge because we do have the Wild Spirits. Getting the 3-1 against Mage is not really what I wanted to see, but it's fine for now. Okay, so the location doesn't really do much yet. And I really did not want to see that yet either. Just going to use the hero or the weapon, go face. Oh, going for Quel'thalas. There are times where that becomes really awkward with the Wild Spirits and such, but having a lot of weapon attacks is really nice. Shock Spitter might be something that you might want to try to include over something like Pack Mule, but I do like the Pack Mules because it can actually protect some of your other minions within the deck. So maybe cut out, I don't know. I'm actually trying to think. There probably isn't really any minion that I wanted to cut out that much. I guess maybe the Twin Fins. Twin Fin sometimes is a little bit worse, and Shock Spitter could in theory be a lot better than them, but I like the idea of just having an additional way to buff up and make uses of all of the buffs within your deck. Okay, they're just... Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Alistair. I'm not saying that name right. It's not Alistair, is it? No. I'm just stumped. Sometimes I'm going to continue to call him Alistair, probably. Just going to go face. We did get another one of the 3-1, so we're probably going to attack the 2-2. Let's grab the second Wild Spirits. Okay, so maybe that's going to be their win condition. I am curious if it is aggro or if it's some other type of mage deck. Just going to attack into that. Might as well put down one of these just to be a little bit safe. Put additional taunt up. And we can get a little bit of advantage off of it with the Hope of Quel'thalas. We can also use the brand in combination with the Twin Fin to get even more advantage out of the Hope of Quel'thalas buffs, which is really, really nice. Oh, they're going to freeze our minion. Hey, okay, so they're probably big spell mage. The fact that that deck is still floating around is a little bit annoying. I've actually tried to use it a few times this month, but it just, I don't know. It's one of those decks that is feast or famine whenever it comes to winning with it. Okay, the Quel'thalas is probably the best bet, to be honest, but I think I'm going to not do it for some stupid reason. Probably should have done it to get the buffs on everything, but oh well. Okay, so they did kill one of our minions. We're going to put down the Deep Water, which is going to get them 8 armor, which probably means that the new 8-drop spell, which is actually kind of a shock. I haven't seen too many people run it. Oh, I remember why I didn't use the Hope last turn, because we were automatically going to get rid of it this turn, and I wanted to get as much advantage off of it as humanly possible. That makes a lot more sense. I sometimes forget situations like that do come up with the deck. It's the hardest thing to actually know. You could, in theory, again, cut out the Wild Spirits engine, put in some spit or shock spitters, and then something else. But I do like the Stag Charge and the Wild Spirits as a type of removal and just board pressure. Because once you do get the Wild Spirits online, they do count as minions to buff up with your Hope of Quel'thalas, which is actually pretty nice. Okay. Oh, of course they're going to hit our minion. I mean, it was 50-50, so can't be too angry about it, to be honest. We do have the Hydrogeddon plus the Hope of Quel'thalas, if we can actually get the attack off, which would be real nice. We can also just use the Twin Fin to clear out everything this turn. Use the Selective Breeder to grab King Krush in the long run, I think is better. Pack Kodo is funnier, but we're going to get 2 copies of King Krush. That's the reason why I don't want to really add another beast into the deck, because you are running right now, I think, 4 beasts, so you're going to have a high likelihood of getting either a Pack Kodo or a King Krush off of Selective Breeder, which is usually what you want to get. Though the pack meals, again, are something that I almost want to cut out of the deck. But you can get double the advantage off of whatever buffs, which is the main reason I don't do it, to be honest. Okay. That is actually probably pretty smart of them actually doing. Though we might want to swap the order of what we're going to do. They're going to freeze our brand instead of... Interesting. Doesn't really do too much. Oh, there's the Pack Kodo. Pack Kodo could be fun. But let's just do it like this. Then we're just going to go... base, probably. Yeah, face makes sense, then get rid of the 8-8. I would rather have buffed up everything, to be honest, but I'd rather get rid of the 8-8 this turn. And then we can maybe get another Pack Kodo off of, or Hope of Quel'thalas off the Pack Kodo, which might be cool. I've been trying to make some type of use out of Pack Kodo for a long time. I'm just really happy that there's finally a card that you can easily search with Pack Kodo that makes it pretty consistent, to be honest. There's only 5 hunter weapons in Standard Hearthstone, maybe 4, and for the most part all of them you can actually use within this deck, and it isn't that big of a deal. The 2-2 is probably the worst. The leatherworking kit you can technically use. You're not going to use it a lot of the times, but it's better than nothing. And it does guarantee you to buff up whatever beast that you do get out of your deck. So if you already use something like Lor'themar, it is kind of really funny. Okay. Ooh, pack code number 3, I guess. There's Bloodseeker, but I think Hydrogeddon is probably the... we don't have a weapon, so Bloodseeker. Yeah, let's just do that. And then just go face. The reason why I didn't put down a minion first, or I mean King Krush first, is because it would have wasted our turn if they chose minions, and for some weird reason they didn't, so I'm okay with that, to be honest. But okay, so they get rid of our entire board, which is a bit frustrating, except for the Pack Kodo. Pack Kodo can stay, I guess. We have 2 damage on board. Well, 7 damage on board. That won't freeze out our Pack Kodo. They do probably have something like Frozen Touch, I'm assuming. Or not, okay. Okay, that's... of course, Leatherworking Kit is technically the best option here. We don't have any way to trigger the Oasis Thrasher, or I might want to choose that instead. Just going to continue to go face. We could have actually attacked into the 3-2, but I don't think it's absolutely necessary. We might as well maybe overextend a little bit more, putting down the second Pack Kodo just to put it down. Now, if they attack our face with anything, we would just win the game next turn. Unless they have something like Magister Dawngrasp, but I don't think they will. Okay, they're going to coin something out. Ah, Fire Eye. Okay, that works for me. Come on, just hit our face. There's the third King Krush. And there we go. We got lethal for next turn. No, Lor'themar, a little bit too late, my friend. Let's crush their face. Okay, time for a game against Hunter. Let's see how this one goes. Oh, actually, I like everything in this opening hand besides the Twin Fin, I think. Might actually get rid of it. Yeah, let's get rid of it. Oh, Pack Kodo, exactly what we wanted to see. Now, the question is this going to randomly generate us a additional Hope of Quel'thalas or not? Second Peasant, that's actually pretty good here, too. Hunter most likely doesn't have a way to deal with this, right? Oh, a peasant of their own. Okay. I guess we're just going to use our one peasant to kill that and then place down the second one. Okay. We have the Pack Kodo plus the farmer in hand. Could also use it on King Krush, to be honest, but I think, honestly, that is probably the worst decision in the world. And King Krush usually doesn't survive long enough for you to shuffle in 3/3s into your deck. Okay, there's drawing 2. Oh, Pack Kodo number 2. Let's see if we can randomly generate a 3/1. And the one time I really wanted a 3/1, we don't get it. Okay, so what do you... Well, our peasant is probably going to be dead next turn, which is kind of sad, but it's fine. We did get a little bit of advantage out of him. Now, tracking is probably what we're going to start the turn with. We might actually just use the Pack Kodo right away to try to get the Hope of Quel'thalas out of the deck. Frenzy Fangs. And it isn't actually buffed up, so it's going to be easier to actually deal with. We do... Explosive Trap would be really, really nice in this situation. Well, I guess we did Pack Kodo first. Bloodseeker's fine. Oh, there's our hope. Okay. We can't use it next turn, but we can use it on the following turn. Oh, actually, we might not want to because of the stupid stag on the board. There's the stag. Ooh, Twin Fin, okay. That helps us clear out the board without hitting our own face. Let's just hit their face twice. Okay, they're going to clear out our board. Don't really mind too much. We do have the hope to get our things buffed up and then also getting rid of the 4/4. And hopefully, starting next turn, we can use something like Pack Kodo and Northshire in order to just start getting additional copies. At least that's the hope and dream of the deck.
What is it? It's mine.
Oh, actually, Trog might be a little bit of a brawl. Not necessarily. We can use Bran here. Get 3/4/3s to clear everything out. Chances of them having something to kill the Bran is probably pretty low. And then we can shuffle in 6 copies of Pack Kodo next turn if we really need to. Oh, Tavish. Okay. I don't think even an Explosive Trap would deal with this board right now. I mean, it gets rid of the 2 Murlocs, but that's fine. Curious of what they're thinking that we're actually trying to do. Okay, they're going to coin something else out. Just the hero power? Ooh, that sucks to suck. Okay, probably should have done this in a different order, but that's fine too. Let's grab Ice Trap. Of course, we're going to get Leather Working Kit twice in a row. There's such a small pool of cards, that shouldn't even happen. Let's just shuffle 6 of these into the deck, kill their minion, and then go face, I guess. Oh, okay. I don't mind that being the card that they get double of. And it isn't Explosive Trap, okay. You know, I have a feeling a lot of people actually choose Ice Trap in some of these matchups, or things that would hate on spells, when this deck doesn't really care too much about not being able to do anything with spells. Oh, that is not what I wanted to see. Well, there goes Bran. There's Trogzor, or Iron Deep Trog. I mean, we probably just have lethal, right? Yeah, there goes Krush again. Alright, now that we're through the games, let's discuss my final thoughts of the deck. Overall, this deck was a pleasant surprise. I had originally tested this deck out. A bunch of rogue decks were floating around. However, rogue decks aren't really floating around at all anymore, and death rattle decks aren't the most prevalent type of deck right now. So a deck like this can actually withstand a lot of the current metagame decks, and is an easy recommendation for you all to try out. You'll actually get a lot of advantage in this deck off of Hope of Quel'thalas, because you basically are doubling whatever stat gains you get if you put down Lor'themar later on in the game, and because you have a lot of resources to actually get you more copies of this. But like always, if you enjoyed the video, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Until next time, bye bye.